Hey everyone, I recently discovered Plank Builders, and here's everything you need to know about it if you're considering backing it. Welcome to another episode of Kickstarter GG. So let's start with the basics. What is Plank Builders? Well, Plank Builders is made by Diditopia Games, and it's a relaxing construction game which is intended to keep you busy with interesting gameplay mechanics and wondrous exploration in a game full of nostalgic vibes. The game takes on the role of a toy exploring the world in order to bring to life the other toys using marbles. There is, however, one big problem: you can't touch the floor. As you bring to life more of your toy companions, you can develop your building techniques through research and bring along that team of toys to help you assist in your building endeavours. With your team and more advanced structure research, you're able to explore parts of the map that were previously inaccessible. Ultimately, bring all the toys to life, but how you do this is entirely up to you. The developers of Plank Builders are seeking £8,921 in order to help fund the remainder of the project. They also have multiple funding stretch goals, and in addition to this, they're seeking 15,000 Steam wishlists and to gain 500 Discord members. The Kickstarter page offers 12 backing options, varying between £16 and all the way up to £268. I will show a few of the backing options on screen, but they include perks such as being listed in the credits, a Discord title, copy of the game, soundtrack, wallpapers, a digital book of the making of, extra copies of the games, pre-launch access, plushies, stickers, A2 posters, designing of an in-game object, and creating clothing sets for the toys themselves. In addition to the backing options above, they also have a staggering amount of pledge extension options in the form of various merchandise, which you can add on top of your pledge to further customize your backing experience. I appreciate what is clearly a well thought out backing structure. I do, however, feel that visually it's very padded and can do with a little bit of condensing to reduce the amount of scrolling involved. Diditopia Games is an independent studio with, as they acknowledge, limited financial capability. Video games are of course expensive to develop, so crowdfunding opens up opportunities to get funds they would otherwise not have access to. Hence, they're on Kickstarter. The fundraising page will help fund the development costs, pay for the team, and ensure the game is delivered in an exceptional state. As for the timeline, they have the following timeline in mind: Kickstarter, of course, in Q3 of 2023, an early access in Q1 of 2024, and a full release aimed for Q4 of 2024. Plank Builders takes inspiration from toys like Kepler and Kevlar, as well as entertainment such as Calvin and Hobbes, Marsupial, and Toy Story. Calvin and Hobbes gave Diditopia the idea of a kid who makes his own rules and experiences the world from his own unique perspective. Marsupial has influenced the drawing style and the design of the characters. In more general terms, they are influenced by the drawing style of Franco-Belgian comics from the early 2000s, like Asterix, Spirou, Tintin, and Yukari. And finally, the movie Toy Story has inspired them with the idea of toys that come to life, as well as the nostalgic feel. The team is a startup company based in Basel, Switzerland. The team consists of two game designers, Mathis Ebner and Jonas Muller, who graduated from Zurich University of Arts with a Bachelor of Arts in Game Design. In addition to those already mentioned, Plank Builder's custom font was developed by Samara Keller, and the music for the project is being developed by Maul Wulsler. Sorry for the pronunciation, I'm atrocious. I'm also glad to see the project has external support and mentorship from the Swiss Game Hub, specifically Samuel von Asch, a producer at Lauf, and Philomena Schwab, who is the co-founder of Strayform, which I'm sure you'll be familiar with. I'm sure these two will be a massive help in the success of Plank Builders. Plank Builders has a really nice but visually different budget graphic, and I really appreciate that. It gets to the point and it's clear, and it's on theme, of course, but it's a novel way to present the information. A small touch, but I really like it. In terms of the actual budget breakdown, there's nothing glaringly obviously wrong with the percentages they've outlined. They're in a very typical balance, and they make sense given the nature of the project. We are, of course, not privy to the full details of what remains of their money from other sources, and we're not exactly sure how far the project is on. However, the demo does show that the core of the project is well thought out and appears to be in a decent state. They mentioned in their timeline they expect the release to be in Q4 of 2024. The money in this Kickstarter is of itself, let's be honest, not enough to get them through the entire year of a development cycle, so there has to be some funds somewhere else in reserve in order for this to succeed. Hopefully the two leading the charge with this project have some sort of supplementary income to keep them going. As for the marketing budget, it is small, of course, but hopefully a lot can be achieved. They can get things under the nose of influencers, maybe get mentions in articles, award shows, and any other kind of low-cost promotion. I do see from their page that they are working with Gelop for promotions, so I would imagine a portion of the budget laid out in the marketing is going towards that. For those that don't know, Gelop is a well-known group within this space. They aid in the marketing of Kickstarter projects. They typically take a percentage of what the project raises in exchange for access to tools and services to the project owner. Specifically, they usually take a cut of what's attributed to them, so I doubt they're going to be taking up the entire 15%. It's probably going to be closer to 5 to 10%, leaving a little bit of the marketing budget for something else. But the one big upside to them is they don't have any upfront costs to Kickstarter owners, so this is super, super useful for those that don't have any initial outlay. They don't, however, typically cover ad spend, so this is something the project owner is gonna have to cover. So hopefully Diditopia has something in mind to plan to cover this. The project owner acknowledges that game development is risky and comes with an element of unpredictability. They are, however, confident they can deliver and have the necessary skills and resources to do so. I feel they could have gone a bit more in depth in this section, however. They don't touch on any of the possible technical concerns regarding the development of the game, nor cover issues like game development delays or any contingency plans. I appreciate the section is here, but I do really feel they could have taken a little bit more time to talk about the specifics of their case. It just feels a little glossed over. The developers of Plank Builders, when they reached out to me asking if I would look, kindly mentioned about a demo for the game. So it means I can give you a bit of an idea of the state of the game and how it plays, which might help you in determining whether you want to back it or not. So, as for my experience, here we go. The TLDR is this game, and the overarching principle of it is the floor is lava. Players must explore the world without touching the ground, and they achieve this by placing planks and walking on those instead. Planks, however, are a limited resource, so you must find plank piles in order to further expand this resource. You also retrieve gems on your route and place them inside of the toys in order to bring them to life. In the demo level, there was 40 toys you could bring to life, and the aim is to explore and find the toys and bring them all to life, and in doing so, you win the level. Some toys, however, are harder to get than others, so you'll need to explore to find them. And as you bring more toys to life via gems, you unlock points in a tech tree, which enables you to put down various prefab structures like stairs. These cost more planks to build, but they can open up new ways to get to places that were previously inaccessible. Those toys you bring to life don't just disappear either, they'll actually help you on your journey by ferrying planks to you, and you can also enhance their behaviours via the tech tree. In terms of general observations when I played the demo, here's what I've noted down. The game features a very coherent visual style reminiscent of the influences mentioned in their Kickstarter page, so I 100% get the vibe they were going for. The game itself actually took me back to playing early 2000s platform games in doing so, but without the technical issues that plagued some of the early platform games when 3D became a thing. The game starts off with the player in a somewhat basic tutorial, but sufficient in order to understand the motives, the core objective, and the basic mechanics with which to achieve your goal. There is a steady flow for the player, with struggling and then working towards an objective, and then getting a gratifying reward when a new toy joins the team. Plank Builders is very open-ended and allows players to have choice and creativity. There's no one right solution to finish this game. It's very open-ended, which will mean no two runs are ever going to be the same. I believe more worlds and levels are planned, but regardless of this, replaying the same level over and over should be possible and should extend the life of the game for the player. The game at its core is simple, but offers the opportunity for far more in-depth and complex opportunities in how you play and how you build, therefore broadening the appeal to both children but also adults as well. Further, on the matter of broad appeal, the game is not overly punishing when you screw up and touch the ground. It simply respawns you very nearby and lets you carry on without any further penalty. This prevents the player from being overcautious and allows the creativity and experimentation to continue, whilst ensuring that there is some element of stake to the game. I think an extra mode where it was a life system or one life only could potentially be fun, but I'm glad that the default mode for this game is very flexible and not overbearing and punishing the player. Physics for structures are simulated, so be prepared to plan your structures to ensure they don't fall down. Thankfully, when placing things, it does show you what will happen, so you can plan accordingly, and this is a great quality of life feature and will help make the world feel more alive and engaging, as well as prevented wasting building time and, of course, a lot of frustration that comes with things not going right. The animations are lovely. Your toy companions don't just sit there, they'll actually do stuff. This further brings the world to life. Sometimes it's just nice to stop building for a minute and watch them chilling out, or bringing you a nice little conga line of resources. I also note that the font for the game is also very easy to read and strong enough to be seen regardless of any environment behind it, so that's a big plus. A quick note on the general presentation of the page before we conclude today's episode. The campaign page is very clean and well thought out with logical sections that for the most part go into sufficient level of detail, with perhaps the exception being the risk section being a tad lacking in specifics. However, in the contrary, I feel the backing options section is very visually padded out and could do with a little bit of visual condensing. The backing tiers themselves are very well thought out, but there's nothing particularly revolutionary or unique here. The extra add-ons, however, are extremely smart on the part of the project owner and will help get a little extra from those who are super committed to the project and could prove instrumental in garnering some extra funds. The extra add-ons, however, did fall foul of the same overly visually padded problem the backing section did. Another minor critique is the budget information and timeline being so low down on the page. I would have perhaps put this further up to avoid them being missed, because they're rather crucial when people make a decision about backing. I think personally, if I was going to reduce down the pad problem, I would have compacted the backing tiers down so that when they were going down the page, there was 2 or 3 per line. And as for the add-ons, perhaps done an overarching display similar to what you'd find in a shop window, with cost info next to each one, just to get that page length down and reduce the amount of scrolling needed. Otherwise, though, the campaign is very well thought out in its presentation. It covers everything someone would need to know, and I appreciate the personal touches, like more information on the team members and samples of some of their creative ideas. Plank Builders has a well-produced Kickstarter page that only has a few tiny little drawbacks. The game itself, I feel, is a really good concept, and the demo shows it well in action. I have a sense this will be a great game, and a fun one for many players to relax in and explore creativity. I think the game is well thought out mechanically and has potentially broad appeal, which should help with generating interest and sales. You can see in both the Kickstarter page and the demo that there's been a great level of care and attention to the details of this project, and there's clearly a lot of passion behind it. At the time of writing this, they've already reached their funding goals, so it's just a matter if they can achieve any stretch goals that's in question, and of course, releasing the game when it's done. There is enough in the demo, though, that suggests to me this is a well-thought-out project and it's well within the realms of possibility, given the background of the team and the advisors. I'm confident this will get finished. Thank you to everyone who's made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to my thoughts. If you like the look of Plank Builders, please do go back in on Kickstarter and follow them on social media. The links to these, of course, will be in the description of the video. If you want to support me and help me bring more episodes to life, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also find me over on Twitch, where we play games like Plank Builders live, and we get a hands-on experience together as a community. So please drop in and take part and say hi. Also, please do comment your thoughts in the section below. And bye for now, and thanks for watching.
It's yours, and I'll take you with me, yeah, I swear. My